yes, it is easy because you have to, you come in with some hint that this is going to be the man's creative process, that you have to go in and every morning with a blank canvas. You know that you can't pre-decide anything for yourself कि मैं ऐसे करूँगा, वैसे बोलूँगी, सब कुछ बदलने वाला है. 6 पेज का सीन, 1 पेज का सीन, एक पेज में ख़त्म हो सकता है. एक sentence can suddenly become that much a monologue, or you just have no idea what's going to happen. So there's no point thinking about it. You sleep आराम से. You have to sleep 8 hours in order to function on Mr. Bhansali's set. You get a full night's sleep and you come fresh, and then you're very involved in the designing of the scene.
See, for me the thing is that for me he's as different as the characters are, because he's one of the few actors of the current generation who transforms into the character that is required, and he's not, there's no trait of himself in the characters that he plays. When I watch Dil Dhadakne Do, I see Kabir. When I watch Band Baja Barat, I see Bittu Sharma. Correct? So you're in 5 or 10 minutes of watching the film, you're invested in the character that he's playing. As an actor, I think he's calmed down a little bit. I think that in Ram Leela he was a little unsure of himself, and I feel like with Bajirao he's become a little more. He's got a little more therav, and he's become a little he's got a little more control over what he's doing.
कितनी मीठी बातें करती है. I got the narration and in his office, and I went out, and there he was pacing up and down, waiting for me to come. So he was just pacing up and down. He's hearing the narration, I don't know what he's going to think, what he's going to say. So when I came out of the door, and he was like, tell me. so I went and gave him a big hug, firstly, because to hear such a powerful story can get you all kinds of emotional. Gave him a big hug. We went out on the terrace, and we spoke for like 2 hours just about the film, the canvas, and what we're going to shoot, and how we're going to shoot, and how he sees the character, and what I felt mostly about what I had just heard. and yeah, I mean, it was just it's important for a director like him to know what an actor's felt, the instinctive immediate reaction after hearing the story for the first time. So we spent a good number of hours that evening on the terrace just talking. Me doing most of the talking, reacting to what I had just heard. It's a timeless story, you know. You can make this in any decade and at any time, and it will be just as powerful and emotionally charged. And the emotions are universal. The story is timeless. He's made it with a very high octane approach, you know. So everything is chugging along. There's a lot happening in the film, and the duration is quite crispy, I believe. So yeah, his approach is very bang bang. It's high explosion.
Of course, I knew that we had something very, very special, but my personality type is not to over analyze, because I don't want to weight myself down by making myself realize the enormity of what I'm actually getting into, because that can then maybe that pressure can might affect my performance. I want to treat it like any other film, because the scale and everything else and how special, because it's not like I'm going to do extra acting in Bajirao Mastani because it's Bajirao Mastani. I'm not going to like preserve myself from one film and do something extra for Bajirao because of the scale. Because as an actor, I give the same amount to every film that I do. So I will treat it like any other film. I don't want to build it up in my own head and treat it any differently from any other film that I've done. I'll actually be unfair to myself then, because then I'm treating one film differently from all the other films that I've done. I know if Sanjay sir is working with me for the second time back to back consecutively, there is something special in that. I don't want to come under that pressure and create that pressure for myself by telling myself, okay, you know what, Deepika, this is a really big film and you've got to give this your all. I don't want to do that to myself.
You have to, like, whether it's a film that has a smaller canvas scale mounting or a big massive one like Bajirao Mastani. From an actor's point of view, you have to give 110% every single time. And for me, whether it is fully mainstream or not so mainstream, every character of mine, I have to give my everything to. But my approach is very different for each character. For instance, I didn't have to prep so much, as much as I did for Bajirao Mastani for Dil Dhadakne Do. You know, it's a much more conversational, candid, easy breezy type of film. That doesn't mean I didn't put my best foot forward, but it's physically, emotionally not as demanding as Bajirao Mastani. It's like, again, after this I'm going to do another light romance, Befikre, which even the shooting experiences are different. Dil Dhadakne Do really felt like we were on holiday, like a family on holiday. There were times in Bajirao Mastani where I actually felt like I was in battle, and there were times when I actually felt like I am losing my mind. I am losing my marbles, which it actually felt like that at times. Even Mr. Bhansali said, "You're turning into a lunatic, my son." So yeah, I get very immersed into whatever's going on, and I adapt myself to the genre, and the shooting experience is reflective of the kind of film, and even my behavior gets affected. Like, if you were to talk to one of the ADs on Dil Dhadakne Do, they'll be like, wow, he's such a funny guy, he's so much fun to be around. You talk to one of the ADs on Bajirao Mastani, they'll be like, he's a terror. So yeah, it's different films, different approaches, but the one thing that remains constant is that you put your best foot forward every single time.
See, she was. It is a period film, but as a woman, I find her so relevant, or her story, or her courage so relevant even today. I believe there's a Mastani in each and every one of us, in every woman, because she multitasked. She was a warrior princess. Women today are faced with certain difficulties or situations in life where you're probably physically not going to a battlefield, but faced with similar situations where it requires that kind of willpower or that kind of strength or that kind of fearlessness to be able to face those situations. And the qualities that she had of being a warrior princess, being fearless, being standing up for what she believed was right, stood against the system because she believed she was correct, and had so much faith in herself and in her love and everything that she did, and at the same time extremely emotional, extremely vulnerable, very, very fragile and delicate, which I believe are qualities that every woman today has. And she was fearless, so I think that in many ways, yes, it is a period film, but I'm 100% sure that when women come out of the theatre, they will be able to identify and most definitely be inspired by her journey.
The thing was, I had invested so much, by the time we got around completing the shoot by October, that I was waiting to, it was almost as if you hold your breath, you can't wait to just exhale. So I was really prepared to, come out of it, because I had been in it long enough and I had gone very deep into it. So I was ready for it. Also, for me, fortunately, the way we culminated the shoot was we shot the climax, my climax portions, and as the very last thing, as the penultimately last thing, and then the last thing was the song, Malhari, which was a celebration song. So you shoot the climax with the end of the film at the end of the shooting, which is great, because that's really when things start to crescendo, as you can imagine, in any piece of art. And then now that it's done, it's time to celebrate. So we shot the celebratory song. So it was a great note to end the shoot on, and having fulfilled this process. For me, the process was only the prize. Now whatever happens on the 18th or after the 18th is a bonus. For me, I've got my reward. This whole process has been so rewarding. So to celebrate a very, very rewarding process, we shot Malhari. I don't know. I know I'm going to go to the halls, most probably.
I say that Bajirao is not a film, it's going to be an experience.
Yeah, so I want to see those faces.
You want to experience Bajirao Mastani. So nobody, when they come out, they're going to say, I experienced Bajirao Mastani, not I watched Bajirao Mastani.
It's not an audio-visual experience. It'll touch some part of you that, that is deep down, and you'll have an experience in the cinema hall. But one thing's for sure, something you must watch on a big screen to really truly appreciate.